Hello everyone. Welcome to the 14th webinar in 12D's training webinar series. My name is Lisa Stewart and I'm the Marketing and Communications Coordinator at 12D Solutions. 12D's training webinars showcase common industry challenges, taking a close look at industry best practices and how these can be implemented using 12D model software. The aim of these webinars is to upskill 12D model users and broaden their understanding of the capabilities of 12D model. We run these webinars regularly and record them for posting through our website and on YouTube. The first 13 webinars from this training series, as well as the first 17 webinars from our Industry Solutions series, are available on YouTube if you missed those. During this live presentation, you'll be able to type your questions along the way, as shown on the screen, and we'll answer as many as possible throughout the webinar. At the end, I'll also read out some of your questions to the presenter for his insights if there's time. Today's webinar on 12D Field Pickup will be presented by Graham Worth, who is Product Sales and Marketing Manager for 12D Field, with responsibility for management, development and channel creation of 12D Field services and products. In the past, Graham has held such roles as Chief Surveyor for Abbey Group Contracting, Survey Manager for Balderston Hornibrook and Australasian Manager for Leica Geosystems. Graham has 35 years of experience in the civil construction industry and a wealth of knowledge of 12D model and other software packages. This webinar will provide an overview of 12D Field Pickup, information for setup and customization using the power of our coding with multiple user-defined attributing. The menu structure will be explained to assist users to streamline their survey processes. Finally, we will demonstrate the use of the field file editor used both in 12D Model's traditional survey reduction and in 12D Field Pickup to aid our users' data management. Over to you, Graham.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry about that slight delay. We had a small hiccup there with the microphone. Good afternoon, everyone. This is an overview of 12D Field today. It is the second string to our 12D Field bow. Obviously, 12D Field set out was our initial, and we're really ramping up the functionality within 12D Field Pickup. As a beginning, I would just like to give a bit of an overview of some of the features. I'll be working in version 12 today, and some of the new features in version 12, particularly for surveyors using tablets and so forth, has been a problem of the icons being small and the fonts being small. So we've actually put into the environment management file the ability to define the size of the toolbars and icons in both the external and also within the view. So you can actually increase the size of those, and also the fonts for the main menu options up at the top of the screen. So that's quite a nice feature within 12D. I'm going to be jumping in and out of this PowerPoint today because I want to go through some of these as we come across them. So I'm just going to quickly jump out now and bring up this. This is the documentation that comes out with 12D version 12. It's just a little area. Actually, it's not little. It's 253 pages long, this one. And in this one, I'll go down to the page where you can actually see the method for actually increasing the font and the toolbar sizes. You can see in here that it's sort of grayed out at the moment, but you've got the menu font size and the scaling of the menu, the toolbars, the view buttons, the panel text and the panel title scaling, and many other things that you can actually manage through this. And here you can see we've used a font size of 10 for these menus up the top here, and they're quite small, but if you actually use the scaling method, you can bring these up to a size that is suitable to your fingers on the tablets, which is a very, very handy item, and it's something we've been looking forward to introducing into 12D Field. There's some sizes shown there in the next to inflate the fonts. You can, a 125 in that box actually increases it by 25%, all the way up to 200% if you wish to. So that's a little bit of an overview of the font sizes, but you can also scale the toolbars. It's very, very similar in its method, and it allows you to actually increase, and you can see in this area here these toolbars have been increased, and you can also increase or inflate the sizes of your view icons as well. So it's a very, very handy item to manage. And I'll just duck back to our PowerPoint and quickly run through that. What we're going to concentrate on a little bit today in the first instance will be the setting up and customizing of your pickup codes. It's the pickup codes is a very, very powerful tool for managing the styles, the line styles and the symbols, and your features in your map file. This is an example of some of the newer buttons that have been put onto the 12D Field Setout and Pickup, and you can see we've got many different ways. There's actually in version 12 now the ability to have 4 hotkey bars, as we call them, on the screen, so you can actually surround the whole screen with them. In Pickup we've got the plus and minus button there for incrementing and decrementing your string numbers, which does improve things. And there's a new option to import the last 12D Field Setout station into 12D Field Pickup as well. And there's a fast calc option to increase your field measurement speed as well. Generally for 12D Field, there is a new Trimble connection. We have now the Trimble S series instruments running in version 12. The S6 and S8 have been tested, and there are others to come. That's a connection through cable, direct Bluetooth to the instrument, or through a serial or a Bluetooth serial combination radio. They work on any tablet with Windows 7 or above. And it obviously you've got the full instrument functionality is, as with all our other instruments, is managed on the tablet itself, so that you can work remotely or next to the instrument, or a combination of both. Another feature that's been brought into 12D Field, and this is based in the Setout, but I thought I'd bring it up today, is the new Leica scan station MS60 and the MS50. We now have a predefined infield measured using a polygon shape to scan surfaces with these instruments, and that converts and downloads it into an attributed 12D point cloud format. We're also within the survey region where we're actually really beefed up our management of point clouds. This is a scan done with a Faro scanner brought into 12D at the last FIG conference in 2016, earlier this year, and it's around the 6 million points, and it really shows the power of 12D with point cloud management. Some of the other features, we can actually section through point clouds and do many different things with it nowadays. So I'll just jump out now and run straight into 12D Field. I've got a 12D Field pickup option running here at the moment. You can see the menu up the top there, the main menu. We have one feature that I've been questioned about recently a lot is people have been concerned about where the instrument's at, and you can see underneath this menu I've got here a bar which gives the measurement information, or the instrument status information, and that can be actually found under the settings under the TPS, this is add a message box to the control bar, which is a very handy thing because you can actually see where the instrument's at, because quite often the speed of the tablets is much faster than the actual speed of some of the hardware. So it gives you the ability to see where the instrument's at. And it's a nice little handy tool. But underneath the survey, and we'll get back to this pickup, we've got this 12D field menu here, which is the set out, our GPS localization, and set out field files to strings, which brings field files from 12D field setted in. We have the pickup option. Then we have another menu structure underneath the pickup codes option box. Got 12D pickup codes editor, and I'll just bring this up here, and we can actually have a look at under the user library. I've got a predefined 12D field, and we'll read that in, and we can look at the feature codes there. And I'll just bring this over here and bring that around and just tidy this up a little bit so that we can see that. And I'll also bring up the map file, because they work in conjunction. What the 12D field pickup file does is it actually manages how you provide attribute information to additional attribute information, and manage your map file data as well. So here, if I just browse to there and go to the map file and read that in as well. So now that I've read that in here, you've got your basic. This is a standard map file for most people. You've got your for instance, your bridge bearing under here, and if we went to bridge here and looked at the bridge bearing, you've got actually underneath your bridge bearing, when we click on the actual bearing, it uses the code. You can see here the output code, BRB, and that matches the output code of BRB here for the bridge bearing. So the pickup codes file is actually driving the reduction to match that of your map file. So it's a very, very handy tool for that. You can also actually put under here, you can have comments as well, so that in this case it would be a vertex comment. Here we've got the bearing itself is, we have many options within the pickup codes as to what we can do with this. In this case it's a single feature. As it says up here, a feature, but you can actually make that a group, so you can actually group together various items within it, and also you can actually include it with another as well. So there's many other options, and you can also, down the bottom here, you've got the ability to have is it a break line, is it a point, or is it both? So you can actually manage that in there as well. But just ducking into something a little bit more interesting, I guess, for coding is, for instance, underneath pipes, you've got here the string listing, and you can see here that we've got two stormwaters in this map file here. One is for a pipe of a diameter. It's using the dollar symbol, dollar stormwater. And there's also the culvert as well, and the culvert has two sizes to it. It has your diameter, or your width of your box culvert, and obviously your height for that. So if we go down to, and I'll just bring this back up again and go down to drainage, we go to the pipe option here as well. So here you can actually see under the pipe, and to add this in, if I wanted to add in another code under this main heading here, I would hit the plus button. If I want to add in another child underneath this code of pipe, I would hit the child, create a child button in here. So you can actually delete items, move up and down within them. You can copy and paste items around as you move around as well. Under the pipe, obviously, it's a feature. It's a stormwater pipe. So we've got that in there. Its output name is stormwater, so it looks at the map file over here for stormwater. But underneath it, we can actually add, using the pickup code file, the 12D field codes file, different items for attributing to each of these points that we pick up. So obviously saving time and ability of the surveyor to actually be concerned with what is that material, what should be used for that material. He can be given a choice. So here under this material we've chosen a choice, so it actually creates a choice box. So here we've got choice, but you've got group, you can have a group choice, you can even produce opcodes within there, features, real, text, integers and so forth. So the power of the pickup codes file is quite strong. Here I'm doing a prompt, and it's, as it says, it's a prompt, it's the material, as we've said here. So you've got the different materials down the bottom here for the data. So we've got under here we can have a list of brick, clay, PVC and so forth. You can actually add points in there if you like. Obviously just highlighting, and you want to add a line in the bottom there. I could actually just add in PVC there as well, and that'll double it up. I'm just not thinking of another item at the moment. Or we can actually highlight that, and we can delete that back out of it and add and take off things within the file. The next item down underneath this, and these are created by creating childs underneath the pipe string, is the shape. So we've also got again a choice box here, and it's string shape obviously. So we've put in two here. Is it a culvert or is it a diameter or a pipe? And that matches the shape that you see in your map file here. So it gives the two programs the ability, or the two functions, the ability to work together. Obviously the diameter, it's a real item, so it asks for a numeric value or a value to be placed in there, and in this case it's the type is a string, so you could have it as a string, a vertex, segments and so forth. You've got the ability to manage that. And then when we look at the culvert, when that comes in, you've actually got the height, which is the $SW/string height. And again, it's a real item as well. And again, as I've done with most of these codes here, we can actually add in a comment if we wish, and that type is a vertex comment, so it's actually placed onto the vertex of the point. That gives you an example of some of the more complicated, and I'll run through that within the program shortly. But just as a simpler one too, is here you've got a subsoil inlet or a gas line, for instance. If we go to a pipe underground here, you can actually type in the diameter of that, and it will come up and allow you to actually, as a real item, ask the diameter for that pipe. Under some of the other items here, you've got, we'll just go back to the symbols idea here. You've got symbols, so you've got a string or a vertex, but under the vertex here in the map file on the left-hand side, I've produced a map file here with quite a few different tree types and so forth, and photos. And I'll just give you an example of the tree. You've got the number of attributes in there, the foliage, and the symbol for each of the different types of trees, so that it actually manages that. And I'll just bring this back down again. Drainage. We'll go down to vegetation and have a look at this tree option down here. And again, you've got the main code is tree. If we click on that, it's a feature. It's a prompt called a tree. It's an output code of tree, and that looks up the code in your, obviously in your basic and your singular. Here's your tree down here, vegetation and so forth, and also it looks underneath your symbols for your vertex for your different types of trees. So if we go into the species listing, again it's a choice box, gives you the ability to choose your different types of tree species, and it applies it in this case to the vertex, so it allows you to manage just the vertex for that. Then you have the trunk size. It's a real value again, and it allows you to, that's again on a vertex, and allows you to put in the actual trunk size and your foliage size and your height size, and the height in this case is a text, because there's no real need for it to be actually drawn, and it obviously in the plan view, but it puts the height of the tree in as a text. And again, you've got the ability to manage your comments on the back of that. So if I just bring this back up again and bring the feature codes down in, you can also, in the pickup codes, it manages your different opcodes. So in here I've got just a few put in here. It's obviously close the string. It's what type is it? It's a group. It can be a group, a single opcode, or to be included again. And here it's the prompt is to close strings, and it's obviously it's an output of 20, which is your opcode for closing a string. Last 3 points the same. It's the opcode of 17, and it places an arc through the last 3 points. So you've got the ability to manage both your opcodes and your feature codes for your map file within the field using 12D field pickup. These files, once you've set them up, and we stress that a lot of people may have some concerns with setting this up. It's quite a simple matter, and it utilises your ability within the map file to actually manage your fields pickups and your details. So if I just close that down and finish this one here, I've got a setup in here, and also for and I'll be using a simulator here, which is a little difficult in some ways, but it allows you to do bits and pieces without having an instrument connected. It's very hard to take shots in a room as small as the one I'm sitting in at the moment. But under the menu, you've got station setup. You've obviously, you can import your last 12D field setup. Then you've got the ability to do a station standard, and you can also traverse through with 12D field pickup. The opcodes, you've got the ability to run the opcodes off the menu, add attributes to points, run shapes to actually extrude curved shapes, for instance, and so forth. And then you've got your STR editor, and here I've got bring up the STR editor, and it shows that we've actually just we're set up on station 3, and I'll come back to that in a little while with a little bit more information. But the undo button, record note, and you've got the confirm on and off, and the confirm on and off allows you to fix your horizontal and move your vertical or your slope distance, and you can actually input those, and I'll explain that a little bit more later on. The option we actually had in the PowerPoint earlier for the recalc fast, this is the option in here. It will just do a continuous plain single one style line running through to allow for a very, very fast pickup. You can have a report on, and then you've got a lot of the features that we have within 12D field set out. What I'll have in here is you can actually use this XYZ with a simulator if you're practicing in the office to position your instrument, for instance. And here I'll just minimize that down the bottom there for the moment, and we can actually call up a code, and we can actually, here I've got the shoulder of the road. So in this case I might change this. We've got the ability to pick drainage, for instance. We'll do a pipe. I can hit the increment and decrement button. I can also hit the increment and decrement button down here as well. You can multi-code with it as well. And in the bottom of this box here, we've got actually some of the nice features. I've got a favourites down here, which I'll run through again in a sec for you. But we've also got the last 10, so what you've last used within this survey. So you can actually go through and see the last few things. So I've got a stormwater here, and if I take a measurement at that point, as we saw in the pickup codes file before, there was the 4 items, the material, so I can pull that down. What are we doing? I'm having a reinforced concrete pipe. The shape is a diameter, and I'm going to make it a 2 metre diameter here to pick that up, and I won't bother with a comment at this point. I'll set and continue. And then if I position this TPS again, it's hidden under there. Simulate can be a little bit rough to work with. Again, we'll pick that string there, and I'll take a position. I can hit the last button and it refills that in, and continue with this. And I'll just position that down there for the moment, and then I'll turn on the GW 16C drainage pipe, and there's the pipe that we've just picked up. So as we continue through, if I reposition this, and I'll repeat that measure here, we can take a shot there. It'll come up, hit the continue last, and then the continue, and we can actually continue with that pipe as we wish. And that is a real pipe, full pipe string, and it allows you to manage that. If I just bring the instrument back to this point, one of the nice features with 12D Field is it actually shows you within both your normal setting out and your normal detail pickups, and within your templating, for instance, it shows the link to the last. So if you're jumping through a series of strings in a template, going across a road, for instance, it'll link you to the next one that you're supposed to pick up, and in this case it joins those two together. So in this case I'm going to go for a stormwater again, and I'll just change the string there and press OK. And if we take a shot there, I'll just do another case here, and we'll do a reinforced concrete box culvert. The shape will be a culvert, and the diameter will be, let's make it a 4 metre box culvert, and it's 2 metres high, and we can set that and continue. And then if I take another shot through there, we can actually see, bring that up again and continue, and that is a full square rectangular shaped box culvert, 4 metres by 2 metres. So you can actually see how the code allows you to manage the attributes as you're running on the fly. The other option which we can see down the bottom here is the favourites. It can be either on your panel, so if you want to keep your panel open, you can have your last favourites or your last 10. Or you can have it here as in finger-sized buttons that are down the bottom of the screen. While I'm here on this favourites option, I might just quickly show you in our settings the functionality of those favourites bar down the bottom. You can actually, under the pickup button at the back here, you can pre-fill your attributes from the last point. That would be handy to have on. You can show your templates control bar. But here under the favourites mode, I've got it set at horizontal. I can make it vertical, obviously, if you want to put it up to somewhere else, so you can actually add in quite a number there. I'll put it back to horizontal and bring it back down to where I'm comfortable with a touchscreen. But one of the nice things with this favourites bar is you can have as many of these as you like. So if I went to the set favourites option in here, it allows me to call up various files that I've got predefined. This one I'm running here today is the gwdemo.12d favorites. It saves that away, and I'll jump back once we've had a quick look at this and show you how that is created as well. But that allows you to actually set and you load it and finish that button there. But you can also have this so it, in this case I've got no auto increment. You can have it running forward, so it'll run shoulder, edge, crown, edge, shoulder, then run back to the left hand side. Or you can have it reversing, going the opposite way, or you can have it zigzagging as well, zig or zag. So you've got the ability to use your favorites bar as basically as a templates bar if you wish. So that allows you to really make good use of your a favorite set of codes that you may use during the course of the day surveying. Again, I'll just come back to these pickup codes. Under this pickup favorites, and we'll just create a new one of these, and I'll do this as GW 1611 today, and we'll call it D. The pickup file that I want to load in is, and I'll just browse to that, and we'll load that file in. So that's now loaded that in. And if I wanted to add in a new favorites, I just go to the codes, and as you can see here, it's got the same codes that we have in the pickup codes. I could pick electrical, and I want to do a inspection pit, select, and I want to start that. It's going to be a point, so I'll say that as 0, and I can put it in as PIT EL, for instance. You can have any type there, and obviously you can have a there's an image you could display there as well. Add another one in, so that's now placed that in. Bring up the codes, and we'll do a fuel, the Bowser, select that. It'll be obviously a point as well, so we can have that. Call it a fuel B. Add another one, and I'll just do a 3 one here as well. We'll just create obviously survey. We'll put in a couple of survey marks, a benchmark for instance. Call that string 0 again. BM. So your favorites can actually display, and when I say to display, this is what the display is down the bottom here, as you can see in this example down the bottom here. Add another file in, then we can actually write that away, and then I will delete this option, yes. I'll load up the function that we had running before. Set that. And use the simulator again. As you can see, which I mentioned before, you've got the option to keep the current station, define a new station, or import the last one that was from the setout. So in this case, I'll just keep the station. So that allows you to, and you've got the obviously the 12D field pickup codes, and you've got the favorites. You can also convert your existing map file to a pickup codes file as well. You can do your ADAC XSDs to pickup codes, and you can also, there's some features here that allow you to place your codes into into a 4DM file. You can filter line styles via your map file, so it doesn't actually utilize all the line styles and symbols that are in existence within 12D model. It'll only use those that are in your map file. And you can also actually save line styles and your symbols away to a binary format to actually speed up their creation as you're building those up. So that's a little bit about the 12D field favorites, and again you've got the ability to set those favorites as I said before. So here I'll just turn this back on again, this GW demo, and load that as well. I'll go to the settings, pick up, and I had turned them off before, so I'll turn those on horizontally. And you can see down there, as before, we've got the, and I won't go into the auto increment for that, and finish that. So here I've got the road shoulder. If I want to do the crown survey, you can see now it's obviously come straight in and changed up here in the symbols, in the information line up the top of the 12D field panel, that we're a code of crown and string 1, as I've got there. And if I wanted to increase the string number and so forth, I can as well. So I can actually go and take different shots here, and I might just position that TPS again. It's a little difficult with. So you've got the ability to run through that crown as well. And as I said before, you can actually manage that as well. And I'll just put that the drainage pipe that we had on there before. So you've got the drainage pipe as well. Again, with the codes, you've got the ability to actually manage them in with the pickup codes. And I'll just pick another example here where we can actually pick up, for instance, we'll duck through to vegetation, and we can do a tree symbol. We'll do that of 0 and press OK, so that if I now take a position, and I'll just use the simulator again, position the TPS, XY, and we'll put it down here. You've got the ability, and we'll take that measurement there. It comes up with, as we saw in that pickup codes editor, and again I'll just bring that up to actually have a look, so that those that are running through with this can actually see that. And I'll just browse to that. Let me just cancel that. I'll just browse to there. Use the library, pick up codes, read that in. And so if we go down to this vegetation one here, you can see that when we just bring that over a little bit, so it's easier. Under the vegetation, we've got the tree option, and we have these different items here. So here you've got your species, and when we click on the species in the pickup codes, it's a choice box, and you've got the ability to pick the species on a vertex, and then you've got the trunk size, which is a real value, so it's a real item that needs to be typed in, and a foliage size, and so forth. So I'm just going to finish that. We'll go here and pick just a straight gum tree. It's a size of 1 metre, say, for the trunk size, a foliage size of 20 metres, and a height there of say 10, and set that and continue, so that when we actually turn on this code here, and you can see what I've done also with pickup, which is quite an advantage. I've actually given under the function, when we first went in, a prefix. So here it's GW Graham Worth, the 16th of the 11th, the job C, and we're doing vegetation. So this can actually, if you've got multiple users in the field, you can actually separate them using the prefix and so forth, or separate them into different job specific titles. And when we select that and turn that on, obviously you've got your tree there as well, that comes on at that time. Underneath the menu again, we'll just keep coming down. When we have a look at our field code editor, you can see here that we've got this items that we've measured. We've got the stormwater again with the 12D field or the SDR file that allows you to manage your data. It gives you the ability to pick a point. For instance, if I want to see where was that first point in the field, it actually points from the station to where you're running and so forth. It's a few different pipes, and obviously your crown string. If I go to that first crown string, you can see the instrument here is actually highlighting it. So it gives you the ability to view your survey as you're running through with the full attribute listings for each point within that code. And I'll just bring this out a little bit to give you a bit of an explanation of that. So under here you've got your full attributes for that pipe and so forth within the field file. Let me just finish that. Bring up that menu and we'll continue down. You've got an undo. You've obviously got the ability to put code information, and this actually allows you to put code information onto your survey. Favorites we've been through, the confirm on and off. So the purpose of the confirm on and off is to actually, if I just position this using this simulator once more, and the instrument's out there now. I'll just finish that in that position. We'll run in here, and as you can see now, I've got the confirm on. So if I took another shot for a tree, for instance, we've got the here, we've got this confirm option here, which allows me to fix the horizontal in the same spot. Well, actually, with a tree, normally you would take the shot next to it, and you would actually fix the vertical and the slope distance, then move the instrument onto the tree and take a shot. Or you can actually go left, right, up, down, and away with a physical measurement as well. That's the confirm, and as obviously you've got the confirm on in here. We also have these as hotkey buttons on the side here. You've got the offset. So if I just bring that down, that's confirm off. I hit the offset, and then bring the menu on again, and the confirm is on. So it allows you to actually manage through the hotkey buttons all your different types. The same with the code, with your hotkey buttons, the multi-face on and off, even your settings menu down here as well. So you can actually manage all of those items within the settings menu. Again, you've got the instrument functions, your search functions for your instruments, and your string instrument string number increase and decrease within the survey as well. The other item that we were going to go through, and I'll just leave this survey in here and give us a little bit more room, is you can actually, under the survey, you can edit the function. We can actually call up our function if we wish, later in the office if you wish. Here we've got this. So you've got that full ability to manage your field file afterwards. You can actually edit your field data if you wish. So we'll bring this down here, bring that, and edit that. That allows us to bring up this file again, and we can have a look at everything that we've done with that survey today, be it ever so small and a bit of a demo, but you can actually have a look at that as well. So again, it shows you the link between your different pipes and so forth. So if you wanted to actually add in a point here, for instance, if we added in here a child under here, we might want to change it to our target height and put in a new target height. Select that. The new target height will be 2.1 for some poles are quite often 2.1. Apply that and press OK, so that we've now got a a new target height in this location down the bottom here. So we've put in a 2.1, and that will be, because it's actually obviously been an add-in, it is coloured blue. Even still, if we took a measurement and we wanted to delete that measurement, we still have the same functionality that we've always had with the editor, so that for your QA purposes, your changes to the file changed, but they're still as a record of the survey as you're going through. So you've got that full ability to manage that. You can also do your normal things like pick, and it'll jump to your measurement for the different points that you did in your survey as well. So the pickup codes underneath 12D field, it allows you to, just recapping, it allows you to manage all of these items quite intuitively, and with a lot of extra power to actually manipulate and manage your map file to its full extent while you're live in the field, which is a very nice feature. So I think we're just about done here now. I could continue on for hours, but I'm sure everybody online has many things to do today. So just recapping on that again with just very quickly, under the vegetation, we'll do that again, and we'll just run into the tree again, because it is a good example of managing your full. So the feature code is tree, it's a point, you can actually make all items whatever they are. You get the ability to create choice boxes to run back to your map file for different symbols. You can put in a real value for your trunk size, and you can also put in text and so forth for measurement if you wish. Foliage size, again, it's real. Your heights and so forth. In this case, it's a text to go on there for a height. And you could also manage to include things as well. And that's a brief overview of 12D field pickup. I thank you for your time. I'll leave it up to Lisa now for any questions.
Thanks, Graham. We could probably just squeeze in. We've had quite a few questions through, so we'll just squeeze in a couple if we can. Okay, so Carl in WA has asked, does the target height in the reduction editor apply it to the points above or below the height entered?
Below the point.
Great. We've had a couple of questions about resection, about using resection. I'm not sure if that's a bit complicated to go into in the short time that we have.
No, I will answer that question, because it is a number one question. I think work is being done, as you can imagine, and that to the benefit of our programmers in 12D. The functionality that has increased within version 12 has been enormous. It is on the list, the resection, and I would imagine it would be in the life cycle of 12. And if Alan's listening, please don't kill me this afternoon, but we're continuously striving to get that across. It is quite a task to actually put that in, and as an alternative, we've at this stage we've got the ability to bring in the resection from Setup, because for those of you who are quite familiar with Setup and Pickup, they are two different software functions. Setup is actually alive to place a point on a surface, or as it says, set out surveys, and so it's actually driving instantaneously from the tablet and the instrument, whereas Pickup follows our traditional field file method for obvious reasons for QA and so forth. But we will bring the resection in as soon as we possibly can.
Thanks, Graham, and don't worry, I'll edit that out of the video before I send it to Alan. And we'll just quickly squeeze in one more so we can get people back to their lunch breaks. But Keith in New Zealand wanted to know if a pickup file is edited, is a commensurate edit required in map file?
No, I'll talk to Keith on that one.
No problem at all. So I think that's probably all we've got time for live, but we'll definitely get back to all the others by email later. Thank you for all your great questions. The recording of this webinar will be available in coming days through our website and our YouTube channel. Our final training webinar for 2016 is putting contour labels where you want them on the 8th of December. That one's already been quite popular, so get in quickly with your registrations. We've also got another 2 industry solutions webinars we'll be slotting in before the end of 2016, so do see our website for details of all of those. We'll update it with some great 2017 topics in coming weeks and also continue to keep you posted through email and social media. If you need to contact us in the meantime, our details will be on the screen shortly. That concludes our presentation for today. Thank you for attending, and we hope to see you at future webinars.